This will be a full no BS guide on things you can do to make more money, or more specifically, more profit with your e-commerce brand. Or in other words, increasing your conversion rate. Now, based off Shopify's own data, the average e-commerce store on their platform has a conversion rate of 1.4%. And what that means is out of every 100 visitors to your store, you get about 1.5 people back. This being the average is actually extremely low. And if you have somewhere around the 1.4% conversion rate or even lower, this is why things like your ads, your emails, or your content is not working. But now the opposite is also true. If you get your conversion rate to something like 5%, it will have the opposite effect, and it will make everything, including your ads, your emails, your organic content, so basically anything that brings traffic over to your store, is going to be a lot more effective because your conversion rate is higher now. But now the question is, how do I actually get from, a sub 1% conversion rate or 1.4% conversion rate to 2, 4, or 5% conversion rate? Now, firstly, I'd like to go over a few common mistakes people make when it comes to improving their conversion rate. So the first one is, thinking the fancy stuff like your logos or maybe your fonts, right? Thinking that that's going to make the big difference. When you get to such a high level, it might, but for most of you watching this video, it's going to be better that you focus your resources on the stuff that I'm about to show you. Another one is making random changes based off how you feel. Now, the reason this doesn't work is because it's based like a coin flip. Now, you might make a good change, a bad change, 3 good changes, and then you make 3 bad changes. But basically the point is, if you flip a coin enough times, you're going to get heads and tails basically equal amount of times. So what's going to happen is when you make random changes, it's based like a coin flip. So you're going to make a good change, or you might make 5 good changes in a row, but eventually when you keep doing that, it's going to even out and you're going to get a net improvement of about 0%. Or another one is they change or test a bunch of stuff at the same time. Again, that's going to mean that you don't even know what's worked, right? So here's actually the correct way to increase your conversion rate. Now, firstly, it's going to be your offer. This one can move the needle, I'd say probably the most, because finding an offer that resonates with your ideal customers, where they actually respond extremely well to a specific offer, testing and being able to find that offer is going to improve your conversion rate by quite a lot, right? And you'll probably be surprised. So when I'm saying offers, here's a few examples, right? You can have buy one, get one half price, or you can have that be something different, but it's just an example. You can have spend 45 to get free shipping, or maybe they get a free gift, whatever. You can do bundles or volume discounts. And lastly, you can do subscriptions. Now, there's a lot more that I could add to this list, but of course, it's just a few examples. So, as long as it's along the lines of one of these, you're probably good to go. And of course, what I'd recommend you do is test, right? Test one offer against another. If that one does well, test that one against another one. You can take the offer that does well and try to iterate it a little bit, see if you can make it better. But again, just test. And number 2 is going to be listicles for cold ads. Now, a big reason a lot of brands today, their ads aren't doing well is because what they're trying to do, right, is in 2024 and 2025. Now, this might have worked in 2016, 2017, 2018, but now you can't just take a cold audience that knows nothing about your brand, they don't know nothing about your product, and just take them to a sales page and expect them to buy. As I said, they really have no reason to, right? They don't know about you, your brand, or your products. So this is why creating a listicle. So this is basically going to be a blog style landing page where you speak about your brand and your product, and then you take your cold audience to that page. And that's going to be a lot more effective, right? Then of course it's going to be how good can you make the listicle. But so this listicle is going to allow you to educate them. So a cold audience that knows nothing about you or your products, now they're going to be able to find out, what your brand is, what you stand for, and what your product aims to fix or solve or whatever. Now, number 3, and this is a heavily underrated one, is price, right? And more specifically, price testing. So what you want to do is pretty straightforward, right? There's a Shopify app called Intelligems, which is what we use, right? And it makes it super simple. But this is what I'd recommend you do, is take your current price and then do, test 20% below and then 20% above that price. For example, if you were to have a $50 product, you do a test where it's 20% less. So it would be $40, and then you take 1/3 of your traffic there. So you take about 33% of your traffic to the $40 price point, and then obviously you have your current price point, which is $50. Again, you take another third of your traffic, so another 33% to $50, and then you have $60, which is going to be 20% above, and you're going to take again 1/3 of your traffic to $60. So you basically split it evenly across. Now, after running this for enough time and having statistically significant data, which is key, right? You want to make sure that your test result after doing this, or any test to be honest, is actually statistically significant. Otherwise, the result is going to be either false negative or false positive. But after you get the results and it is statistically significant, let's say for example, $60 was the best price point, right? It gave you the most revenue per visitor. You don't have to just stop there. You can continue to iterate, and maybe there's a better price point than 60. So you can maybe go 20% above 60, or maybe 10% above 60, 10% below 60. And basically just find the perfect price for your product. Now, number 4, again, This is so easy to set up, but it's heavily underutilized, and that is just having customer surveys. And to be more specific, right, having customer surveys right at exit intent. So right before people, about to leave your website, you have a survey come up and basically just ask them why they're not buying, or what's stopping them from buying, right? Because at the end of the day, your customers are the only thing that truly determines your conversion rate. So logically, in order to improve your conversion rate, all you need to do is find out why they're not buying. So as I said, include an exit intent survey to ask your customers, what is getting in the way of you buying? Is there an issue, whatever it might be? An extra step on top of that, you can even ask them if they'd like you to reach out to them, so they can provide their email and you can reach out to them to fix the problem, right? And then once you find out there's a common theme within the survey answers, what you can do is go ahead and fix that, right? So for example, if the common theme was the product images make it look like the website's a bit scammy, right? Now this is something that you otherwise wouldn't have known, but now because you've done the exit intent surveys, you now know, so you can go ahead and fix it and improve your conversion rate. Or if it was something else, you'd find that out, right, from the exit intent surveys and fix that, right? So it might not be product images, it might be the description is not descriptive enough, right? Whatever it might be. Number 5 is going to be email flows. Now, sometimes there might quite literally be nothing wrong with your website or your buying process, nothing, right? There's nothing wrong, but people just end up forgetting. It's probably happened to you. You might have been on, any e-commerce store, or maybe even Amazon. You're about to buy and, you get distracted and you forget about it, right? And this is actually quite common, more common than people realize. So the way to fix that is going to be your email flows. So even if you have email flows set up, it doesn't just stop there, right? You want to make sure to set up the correct email flows. You want to make sure that it's actually good, right? You don't want to just half-ass the email and let that send out to who knows how many customers, right? Another thing is you actually want it to go out at the right time. And of course, the only way to find out, any of this, again, is to test. So for example, with, it going out at the right time, you might want to split test 4 hours against 8 hours. So 4 hours after they add to cart, they get an email versus 8 hours after, right? And you can see which one actually, equates to more revenue, and whichever one that is, you go with that one. So as you can see, a common theme when it comes to improving, not just your conversion rate, to be honest, just anything within your business, it's going to be to test. As long as you're testing, I think it's very hard to fail, right? Or very hard to do bad. Number 6, as a bonus, I'm going to put, reviews, right? And what this means is it's your reviews and it's your competitors' reviews. Many brand owners, they underestimate how much data their competitor reviews and their own reviews actually have that can help them improve their conversion rate. Instead of just seeing the 1-star reviews and be like, oh, deleting them, whatever you might do. If there's a lot of people that are complaining about shipping times on, maybe your competitors' reviews, for example, you can go ahead and fix your shipping times, and then you can also brag about it on your site. So you could put, we've got next day shipping. And what that's going to do is, their reviews, or maybe your negative reviews, have allowed you to have a unique selling point that's quite important to that specific customer base. Now, of course, this is quite general, but you might have something more specific about, a lot of people complain about the product being too oily. So you can go ahead, right, knowing this now, you can go ahead and improve your product and then brag about your product. So you can say on your website how, your one is less oily compared to competitors, right? And again, that's going to be a unique selling point that is going to attract customers to you rather than your competitors. So of course, these are very simple, or they're not very complex, right? But you might go into the 1-star reviews of yourself or your competitors' reviews, right? And you might see something there that's like, what, if we fix this, and if we put it on our website that, we're the only brand that has this, right? That's a unique selling point now. It can increase our conversion rate by quite a lot, right? And you're gonna find that, I can guarantee it. And if it's not in your own reviews, again, get a list of your competitors, go through their reviews, more specifically their 1- and 2-star reviews, maybe even 3, and see what you can go ahead and fix that they don't do in order to improve your conversion rate. Now, of course, improving your conversion rate is gonna make your business more profitable. But what I've realized is a lot of brands actually focus on a metric that doesn't even matter, right? And I'm talking maybe 90% of e-commerce brands or people that run ads, they focus on this one metric, and that is customer acquisition cost. And I'm here to tell you that it really doesn't matter. And if you want to see why and how you can actually have a successful business, regardless of how high your customer acquisition costs are, make sure to go check out the video on the right. But that's it for this video, and I'll catch you guys next time.